About $5.
Now we're live.
What's happening?
All you got to do is you're just getting the audio feedback. Just mute your YouTube.
Oh, I have nothing running right now.
Yeah, something's running. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you completely. It must be on your end. I have nothing running.
It might be. So we're good. We're good.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, I know what I'm doing. Okay.
There you I know.
Sorry.
I got
nervous. I'm sorry.
That's nervous. I'm nervous. I tell you, when you basically 2 hours ago said, "Hey Pat, let's do it," and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta make a thumbnail. I gotta set it up on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to screw this up. And I mean, you're the biggest guest now I've ever had on the show.
Look, I'm trying to lose weight, Pat. I thought we were gonna leave the weight stuff off the table. I mean, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm working on it, but then there's cheesecake. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, there's, I have cheeseburger issues, so I want to see if we can trade a shirt for a shirt.
Yeah, we can do that, but you know how I suck about timing. So honestly, I know you just asked me, so I'm more than happy to send you one.
Yeah,
but I don't even know if we have any in stock right now.
And on Instagram, I will message you, and for your mailing address that you use, and I'll send you a shirt. You give me this. I'll send you a shirt for you and Casey. And
perfect.
The only thing I ask is that you send a shirt back.
Yeah, I will. So I just don't know if I have any in stock right now. If I do, I'll send you one. What size do you need?
I like a 3X. So way it's 3X, a little roomy. Okay. Yeah, this way it's a little roomy. Real quick, let's say hi to a couple people. Obviously, my buddy Schreiker is in here, which you know.
Yes, and Schreiker just said that we're out of stock, so I think he's right. So I think, I feel like they bought everything, and we're having problems right now to get the shirts that we like. Yeah, so I need new shirts. I can send you a 3X worn on the show and autographed if you want.
Whatever. I don't care. I actually, when I do travel around, I try to get a shirt from different places that I stop in, and
it'd be a used shirt, but it'll be shown worn. I'll put numbered or something.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, we are gonna wash it first, though, just to be
nice. That'll be in the budget.
I can't promise it, but we're going for it.
I'm gonna real quick say hello to a couple people. Mama Beth, the early birds here. My friend T, auctions for you. Hi, Pat, Renee, and friends. Thank you for stopping. I do appreciate it. But Pam, how you doing? A little old, little new. Yeah, I do appreciate you. Even though it was only 2 hour. No, it's funny because we hung out a little bit on Facebook the other day, and I hadn't done that ever, and I shared that up there, and I don't think some people believe that. Maybe you were going to be a future guest, because some people are like, yeah, sure, right, and here you are.
Yeah, I'm just a regular guy. If I have time, though, I tell everybody, just my timing is just so hard. My life is crazy. What I told you off camera, but the last 24 hours just completely changed everything we're supposed to do in the next 5 days. So, which is good.
Yeah, that's why I had to scramble, because when I had originally, back when I first started doing YouTube, I used to do 2 or 3 lives a week. You're trying to build up the channel. And I said, I don't really, I sort of want quality over quantity. And I said, let's, get one guest. And I had picked you, and you were supposed to be on in January. And then you started doing some of your other stuff. And I got Miss Missouri filled in that month.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually, I think you kind of won that bet, probably.
Yeah, Rachel Strickland. She's a reseller, and I've had. So I mean, you're the biggest guest I've ever had. I mean, outside of YouTube, and I mean, you're the only guy I know that I've talked to personally that has the little blue check mark next to his name on Instagram. So it's. Amazing that you're here. So why don't you tell everybody, basically, Where you're coming from, California, and just a little bit about what's going on right now.
On which part? It's like,
well, I mean, in other words, how did I get you on the show finally?
well, so the other day, like our Facebook is exploding right now. We're picking up almost 1,000 subscribers a day. YouTube is exploding. We got a break in the show, and we finally have some time to really gotta get interactive in our social media again. And I was posting some reels on Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't go live on Facebook in a very, very long time, and including YouTube too, except for poker content. America's Card Room, bum, 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 bum. Good for poker. If you play online poker, that's where Striker plays. But well, like, you know what? Well, let's just go live and just interact with some people. And we were answering questions, and I'm like, let's just bring some people on. Let's put some of the fan faces on camera. And basically, it was all just spurred a moment. We had fun, and then you came on. And I was like, all right, let's do it. I know we've been messaging like since January, and I'm always like, it's so hard to plan. I got another guy now. He's trying to book me like 4 weeks from now. I'm like, 4 weeks from now, I'm just hoping to be alive. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
and like, you know, if we couldn't have done this tonight, like my next 3 weeks are completely booked.
Well,
You know?
and it's funny because I remember the other day when you said that, you said to me, hey, Pat, how about Tuesday or Wednesday? And my son, because we're leaving for Florida next week, my son had to go to the accountant because, the cutoff is October 15th. I'm like, well, we need to get this done, but I don't want to turn down, Rene. And I'm like, oh man. So I was glad that we could put this together tonight to do this. And, people don't realize he's in California. So he's 3 hours behind us. So, and if anyone has any questions, I will highlight them. So, first question I want to ask Rene, and I've talked to you a little bit one time about 2 years ago when you used to sit at your desk, and Casey would sometimes come in. You sort of had like a setup where the camera was. You would be doing like cards at your desk, and you used to be like on.
I would never do cards on my desk. What are you talking about?
Right, me neither. That's why I got piles of them here and stuff. When are you gonna get an official like Rene Storage cards? Like I got a Patdees card.
Oh, so we actually have them. So we have a card that's from Leafs that's actually done by Leaf. So we have a card in there.
I have that autograph card that I bought.
Yeah, so we have 2 cards. So we have the one that was actually in Pop Century, which is a dual signature by Casey and myself. And then we have another promo card that you can't buy that only we have, and sometimes we send them out to fans, and we'll probably put them up for sale eventually or do something with them. Which is, again, it's one of them things. We got them almost a year ago. We hadn't had time, but they're just kind of.
They were trying to sell your card for $100. I was like, ooh, that's a little. I mean, I like them, but that's a little pricey. So finally, one day, some guy gave me 75% off, and boom, I bought it, and I shared it with you on Instagram. You're like, oh yeah, that's cool, and so maybe that was a little bit of the mental note to kind of like, well, he even bought my card, I better go on.
No, nothing to do. It's honestly, I've been meaning to come on. It's just been crazy time. I mean, Shrika's like super cool. He helps me with a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
and like a lot of times I don't even like talk to him for like 2 months, and then bam, he's right there. And we work together perfectly.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. He's part of the reselling community, and he's actually been very supportive of me on a personal level. And like he bought some of my cards, and he mods a lot of people that do auctions and stuff like that. So
I sent him a Patrick Mahomes rookie a while ago.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's got a question. I don't know why he's asking because he already knows. But is Rene married with children?
Yep, we got one little devil or angel, however you want to look at her. Her name is Tatiana. She's about to turn 16. She's very pretty, super smart, and boys are calling my house. So I'm not sure how to deal with that yet.
Oh yeah,
might be a TMC story soon.
And you have a German background, right?
Yeah, from Germany.
Yeah. My father-in-law does too, and my mother-in-law used to say, well, that's the German in him. So I saw you guys. I saw you do a lot now. Do you do all your own social media? Because I saw you guys were going to a place to eat and you were joking about eating fish sandwiches at McDonald's.
Yeah, so we do our social media pretty much ourselves. I just don't want to, I don't want to give anybody else control because I had some really, really bad experiences in the past. I think the person that actually has the most control as moderator is Strikers. So even him, Like he probably has more control on other channels, to be honest. But he's like the only person that's like in full control in our YouTube moderation. We're working on getting the Facebook set up. I've just been too busy to do it. And if I probably would hire somebody that helps with social media in the future, it would be Stryker. If that's something he wanted to do, like on a more level. But we kind of like to stay in control because you never know what people put out there, and we're just in control. We are starting to hire editors for YouTube and editors for Reels and stuff like this. But even then, I'm still gonna be in full control. When they upload, they'll have to it'll go on a server, and we'll have to like approve everything at the end.
Right.
Yeah, and yes, Stryker is awesome at handling chat, so he's really good. He's a very good moderator, and he's good at pushing things. And sometimes I feel bad because he does such a good job. I'm like, hey, just do your thing. I appreciate it. But he just always does a good job. So never had a problem with Stryker.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure because honestly, again, being the biggest guest I've had on the channel, and
the fat joke's got to stop, though. Otherwise, I'm leaving. It's like I get it. It's funny.
Well, I'll come out for the WrestleMania match. I'll do anything to gain a couple subs. What the hell? I remember when you came on YouTube, and that's what I was curious about because you're under contract with what is it, A&E?
A&E, yeah.
Right, and they don't kind of say anything like, okay, you can't do this on social media or.
No, and it's like everything in life. When you do your first season, your first show, it's like being a rock star. In your first contract, you sign pretty much everything away.
Right.
And then as you grow with the company and the show, whenever we renegotiate contracts every season.
Okay.
And as you get more power and the fan base, and they think you have more value, because they always try new people, but at the end of the day, they never really know what does that person bring to the table, how will the fans react, and how hard of a worker they are. So
right.
As you build all that, you get more power in your negotiations. But from day one, we always made sure it's like, look, we keep our own brands, we keep our own stuff.
Right.
So I have no contract. I'm allowed to do my social media, my YouTube monetize. And even now, I can quit Storage Wars, and I can do a new show within less than a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got really good contracts now. But when like the first contract I signed, it wasn't so good. It's like, whoa.
How long you been doing Storage Wars, Rene?
My chair, this is loose back here. It's no fat joke, okay? Storage Wars, I think we started filming in 2012 or 2013. I forget.
Oh,
but it's been about a decade.
Wow, 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, I think I've done like 150 or 200 episodes. Like I really lost count.
Yeah. Now, did you have to join like the Actors Guild to participate in that, or no?
No, I wish, because I'd be making even more money. But we're not actors. We are reality television personalities.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I've known a couple people that are involved in wrestling and have done stuff outside of wrestling, and they had to pay the like $3,000 or $4,000 fee to do like any with movies or anything like that. So I'm not sure if that's different, movies versus reality. It must be because, like you said,
completely different.
Yeah. So how did you now? Have you been? You're and I said this to you the other day when we were talking a little bit on Facebook that you're an entrepreneur. And one good thing I like about you're not you don't take no bullshit from people, especially unfortunately doing social media. You can get it. So I like the way that you are willing to stand up for yourself and banter and be a smart ass right back. But how did you like all of a sudden get into like, were you a person that had a business and then someone approached you to do this or
to do Storage Wars?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they came on season 1. They're like, Dan and Laura were a big part of the show. And they came on in season 1. It's like, you got to come on. And they offered us, I forgot what it was. I think it was $3,000 a week for the first season.
Okay.
But we have to film 4 or 5 days, drive every day 100 to 200 miles. And then I'm like, so we're going to film you going through boxes. And I'm like, that's stupid. Nobody's ever going to watch that. It's like, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I make a lot more money just buying and selling storage. And I don't have to have a boss that I have to answer to except for my wife. And I really like my freedom. If I want to go have lunch, I want to go have lunch. I don't want it scheduled or be at a certain place. So I just turned it down in season 1. I didn't think anybody would ever watch the show. That was obviously a huge mistake. And then by season 4, the opportunity, actually in season 3, we started talking again, and the opportunity came along, and they tried a few other people. It's like, look, we really want you in the show. And then we filmed the test reel, and Amy is like, we got to get this guy in the show. So we had a lot of support from original productions, a lot of support from, Dan and Laura, a lot of support from Amy itself. And then we came to that very first auction, and it was called Aren't You Glad Dan Sold It Again with Barry. And, we just went to war with Barry right away. And that's what they like. And I was trash talking him. There was a famous line in there. If you really watch the show, it's not my fault if you can't pay attention, if he has to high bid or not. And then they reopened the unit, and I took him from 700 to 1600. And then at the very next one, the last one, was a big unit. And I overpaid, but I was like, me and Casey came. We're like, hey, look, this is television. We're here to put on a show. We're gonna come strong. You're not gonna impress anybody or be seen if you just stand in the corner. You know what I mean? It's like sports. You play football, you're gonna hit, right? So if we're gonna play football, we go to war, right? So that unit came up, and we took Brandy Jarrett to like $3,300 or something, and I really didn't want to pay more than $1,500. And what I didn't know at the time, like all the original productions executives were in the audience, in the regular bidding crowd, and I guess they were an A&E guy, and they just totally loved it. And then we actually did good in the unit, and we found more stuff that never even made the show and undervalued it. But it was a good unit. It was a good showing. Brandy and Jared walked away after that, and they were like, oh, yeah, they'll never be back, because they thought we were paid for the unit. And after that, I mean, as soon as that episode was filmed, we signed a contract for the rest of the season. It wasn't supposed to come back because Barry was leaving. It was like all that drama going on. And then they call us, hey, do you guys want to do a season 5? And the rest is history.
Right. I've noticed that some people that have gotten YouTube fame have got it because of Storage Wars being a show. Because people liked watching it. And I have a quick from Mr. Sadie here. He says, Rene, how do you do on live at the bike?
Can we block Mr. Sadie?
Okay.
Somebody thinks he's funny. I think I lost I won the first night like 10 grand, but I think the second night I lost like 40 grand. So
is this a poker reference?
Yeah. I'm not so good at math, but I don't think it was the best 2-day period.
Yeah. It's funny because I can relate to you, and I mean I love cards and I love poker. I don't know if you ever heard of the World Tavern Poker. It was here in Pennsylvania. They didn't have they only had slot machines basically, and they didn't have table games probably about 13, 14 years ago. So they used to do called World Tavern Poker, and they used to be like a bar league poker. And I used to play in that, and you couldn't win money and stuff, but they basically would talk the bars in to paying a fee, and it would bring customers in, and they would play with the hope of one day, like I won a seat in Vegas. I just didn't go because honestly, I'm not a Vegas person. I wound up going to Disney World, but I won that bar that year and stuff. Oh, so you never heard of that?
I haven't heard of that. No, I grew up in Vegas, so I was at gambling, and I don't gamble. I just play poker.
I played with down in Atlantic City. I went to Greg Raymer's. He had a school that he was doing one time down in Delaware, and for one weekend. And I saw you with Phil probably about a week ago.
Yeah, I know all those guys. I know Craig. I mean, I know him. We talked a couple of times, not super close, but I'm really good friends with Chris Moneymaker, which is probably the most well-known poker player that started the poker thing. And then I'm very good friends with Phil Hellmuth. So I know a lot of these guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like do you like poker more than you like buying units, or?
It's different. So I'm a very competitive person. It seems like whenever you start a competition of something, or if you bring out like a score sheet, which the chips are the score sheet in poker, right? I get competitive. They are different. I love playing poker. I mean, I literally can do it for 40 hours straight, take a nap and go right back. But I also love the hunt of storage units. I mean, and it's amazing because like with our pages exploding, we obviously always attract the haters. I mean, you see some of the messages, and when we were talking about earlier, and I would say it's fake, it's all staged. I'm like, yeah, for a YouTube video or Facebook video, we'll go ahead and spend $20,000 in merchandise and stages so we get $87 in advertising, or even if it's $1,000 in advertising, right? And
Right.
the hunt, so like Dusty today, he bought a unit for $4,000. He's filming and I'm talking to him and making a channel. Part of the video will be on our channel, the other part will be on his channel. But it's all full of horror Hollywood memorabilia. The guy was like we're pretty sure he has the original Puppet Master doll from the movie. He has all kinds of masks. He was working out in his stuff full of horror comics. So that hunt, when you buy a unit, like I don't know if you've seen that unit we bought from Face Ruck for 8,500, full
No.
with all the comic book artwork and just amazing stuff. Like the hunt, like when you score in a storage unit, to me, there's no better feeling in the world.
Right.
It's like I've never done drugs in my life, but I've imagined that's what drugs would be like. Like always chasing that score.
Yeah, it seems like I mean, obviously, like sort of like winning the lotto,
Kinda, yeah.
you never know what's in there. I know myself lately. I've been buying pallets, and and even those pallets are only $400 or $500 at a time. But all of a sudden you're opening a box and you're finding $100 Legos. It's exciting.
Yeah, it adds up. It's just another form of gambling, to be honest. But
Yeah.
it's just fun. We get to gamble with fun stuff and have a good time.
I didn't know how to. I used to own a Subway franchise, and
Oh, wow.
I wasn't doing nothing. And when they started that bar league, I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker. I'm like, but I'll go and play cards. And it took me a little bit, but boy, you think people are sometimes mean on YouTube. Beat somebody and slow play them or something like that. You flop a full house and they hit the flush on the river and they're all in and you're calling it and you're all kinds of names.
Well, hey, tell them it's not your fault if they play bad. If you go all in because you had a flush on a paired board, that's on you. You're only going to get called if you beat. So
yeah,
it's nothing.
My only problem I ran into poker is sometimes, especially playing like cheap buy-ins, like $20, $40 buy-ins. They're like, oh, I don't care, I'm just gambling. So you would have crazy stuff like you could have pocket aces and the flop could be nothing that it was even connected, and somebody sitting there with pocket deuces and they hit that river deuce and they don't even, you can't even get them off the hand and they don't care. That frustration.
That's why poker is such a beautiful game, because you can play it in different strategies for different stakes. Some people just sit there, wait for aces, especially in tournament. You have a time limit, obviously, with the blinds. But
Right.
you can play it so many different ways, and there can be so many different outcomes. Yes, you can trap the guy with aces, and he calls you with 4 or 5 offsuit, and he still can beat you. But that's what makes the game so complex and beautiful. And then if you want to go to the next level, you can start talking about, well, you slowly outplay, never put yourself in an all-in situation, even with
Right.
aces, and try to build up your stack slowly, right? So there's so many different arguments. There's other guys that sit down, they'll go all in with the first 10 hands, trying to double up, and if they can't hit it, then they'll just rebuy,
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yep.
there's so many aspects and sides to poker. That's why it's so beautiful.
Have you ever played with Kevin Hart likes to play poker. He was out at our casino in our area. A buddy of mine sat with him when he came and did the tour. Have you ever seen him out and about? Or
I've never played with him. So I know he's a sponsored Poker Stars player, but I've never played with him. But I played with a lot of celebrities at charity events.
yeah, I played with Mike the Mouth, Jamie Gold, that when they were down at Borgata in Atlantic City. But now that we have the casinos here in Pennsylvania, I don't know. I haven't. Things changed the last 2 years with COVID, so I like to get back into. But my problem is I'll win like $400 or $500 in a tournament, and then go over in blackjack, and sometimes play poker for 4 hours and give it back in blackjack in 10 minutes, and I'm like, that's stupid,
That's called money management.
Yeah. And then my wife is, see, you shouldn't have went. You should have stayed home. Go ahead. Does your wife play poker or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's actually a very good player. I mean, she's still tied. She still plays scared. She always puts her opponent in the nuts. So, but she's a good player. I mean, she has winning years, so she keeps track of everything she plays, and she wins more than she loses, and she has a good time. She doesn't play at the levels that I play, but she'll play.
Yeah.
Now,
the other day, a little bit, we talked about on the Facebook a little bit, and I remember you had a store, right?
Yeah.
Where was the store located?
In Poway, California, so we're in the San Diego area.
Oh, okay. and you closed it, and I don't know exactly for what reason. Maybe you
So
could share.
so the complex was sold. We were the only people with a long-term lease in there, and they paid us $375,000 to close down, so they could buy out our lease.
They bought your lease out, right?
Yeah, so they weren't gonna renew our lease anyway. We have by the time it finally was all done, we had about 5 years left, and we just made a deal with them.
Yeah, that used to happen in the Subway franchise that I was in too. That sometimes it was funny because a mom and pop landlord, bless you, um, he didn't understand how that worked out, and he's like, I got a year's worth of rent. I said, yeah, they don't care. They'll buy it right out because they're just making different decisions, business decisions. So, hey, Brian, what's up, buddy? Mr. Beislau. What guy are you asking? I'm the famous Patdees, and this is just some guy trying to shake me down for poker chips.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Now, I find, and that's the question I have is, when you're doing a store, a lot of people that do television are, they do okay, but what really makes the difference is when they become a celebrity on TV, they open a store so they could sell the t-shirts, so they could sell the memorabilia, and that's really, they wind up actually making more. The perfect example is Orange County Choppers and American Pickers. But it seems like you were already successful before doing the show, so you didn't even need the show to be successful. Did the store, do you miss the store because now you don't have that tie in with the television?
So our lives changed. So yes, we were extremely successful with the store before. And I tell all the storage buyers out there, pickers out there, I don't care what part of the country you go to. We all go to auctions to different parts, okay? And somebody that we know will tell us, that guy over there, he's the big buyer, he's the problem. If a $10,000 room comes up, he's probably going to buy it. If not, he's going to run you to the moon, right? And I don't care what part of the country you go to, whoever that guy is, I guarantee you he owns a store. That's just how it is. 99% of the time, I've never seen it where he doesn't own a store. And then, of course, he also takes advantage of eBay and things like this. So that's why we did a store in the beginning, and we killed it. A lot of people say, "Oh, you did really well because of the show." We did extremely well before the show. Our store actually went down because our life changed. We went from just being storage buyers and flipping and buying 1 or 2 units every day to sometimes not buying a unit for 2 weeks or just one a week. And we just don't have time because now we're creating content, right? We're filming all the time. Then we started YouTube, like our friend Fluffy Gamer. He got us into YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I really don't have time. And then that started taking off. Like our channel right now has 173,000 subscribers, and we're not even trying. I mean,
I remember when you started, like, what was it, 2 years ago?
No, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. But then we get busy with Storage Wars, and we don't upload nothing for 3 or 4 months, which kills the channel, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I was funny because I remember when you did come on, though, I was like, he doesn't have a whole lot of. I knew YouTubers that had more subscribers, and then all of a sudden I looked, I'm like, and he's not being one of them. He's putting content out, and he's telling stories with his daughter and his wife, and he really, like, you're on top of it. You're hands on.
So we try to keep it real. We share real stories. We share real units, obviously. But so our life changed. So I missed the store. I missed interaction with the people. I missed being able to go through 5-6 units a week and I just get it through the store and get it sold. Now we do mainly eBay. I'm like, honestly, I'm sitting on like $2 million worth of eBay stuff. I just don't have time to list it because, we get paid for a lot of promotions. We have a lot of sponsorships. Like I said, the thing I told you, we got to go to do tomorrow, the Long Beach Coin Show. That's a paid promotion that happened the last 24 hours. And then we create content. We also have 115,000 on Facebook. I think I'm like at 85,000 on Instagram, and we barely trying. So, but that's something that we start pushing now. I'm actually, when we started, like when you saw me looking down on the phone, I'm working on another deal that's like a life-changing type of deal, And that's why I didn't mean to be rude, but I had to reply real quick. So I replied to the person.
Fine. Yeah.
But so like our life changed a little bit. We're content creators now. We share knowledge. We still buy and sell. I try to still buy deals when people call me. It's like, hey, Rene, I got 10,000 Star Wars figures, or I got a coin collection, or baseball. Yeah. I still buy that. I'll buy some storage rooms just to create content. But life just changed a little bit. God works in funny ways. Now, in my heart, I wish I could just buy storages every day. The unit I talked about, Dusty, he bought in LA for $4,000. I seen it. but I don't have time because I'm hopping on a plane to Uruguay next week. So I just don't have time. So it changes a little bit. So I do miss the store. I miss the people. I miss the hustle.
Well, and I wasn't sure if sometimes maybe you would. It gets to the point like the guys at Pawn Stars, they almost can't do because they have, people become a little bit, you're all day shaking hands and signing autographs and taking pictures that they kind of can't even do their own job. That I the Jeebuses, treasure hunting with Jeebus.
Yeah.
They went out and they, they said, yeah, they weren't there. And a lot of times you have to make an appointment to see those guys. So I wasn't sure, like if I had walked into your store, would you have been there?
Yeah, but I think that's how you handle it. So like in our store, like I tell people, we're just regular people. We're just a little bit more well-known. If I commit a crime, the hotline is going to go crazy, So
Right.
That was funny. Come on, work with me here. But so we're just regular people. So yeah, Casey was in the store pricing clothes. I was in the store when we weren't creating content or filming. And it's also the way you handle it. Like I see it as a gift from God that I can say hi to somebody and it makes their day. Where that's become a little bit harder for us is on the online, on the social part. Like 99% of our fans are super awesome. They love it. They enjoy the content. Probably 95% of those fans never even interact. They just like, it's just like watching Star Wars. I don't go on the Star Wars page and leave a feedback or try to send a message. I just watch it. I enjoy the content and I go on with my life. Right.
Right. That's how I, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got that 1%, and it's happening right now on Facebook. We get a lot of hate messages, like people with no education about the business say it's all fake. I'm like, and sometimes I'm a smart ass. I'm like, you're right, it's all fake, and you just keep your 9-to-5 job, and you make sure that your boss is happy because he wants to buy a new Mercedes, and I'll just do my fake business, So we're like the whole point of our channel is to share knowledge and to inspire and educate and show people there's other ways out there and there's ways you can make money, and if you work hard you will be successful. That like I still believe this is the best country in the world, and if you poor, unless you have a major health reason, if you poor, that's by choice. This country provides every opportunity if you're willing to work hard, and that's one thing that we really try to push in the channel. And when we started the channel, we just kind of did it for fun, but now it's becoming its own animal where it's becoming so big, and like especially on Facebook, it's reaching this whole audience, and we get all these haters coming in, which that part makes it hard a little bit. But in person, in real life, like you were talking about, I've been doing this for 10 years between Storage Wars, YouTube, and stuff like this. And I only had one person that was kind of rude, and he came to our store and he walked out and he was like 20 feet away, and it was on the phone. He's like, "Your store sucks." I'm like, "All right, thanks for coming by." It's like. But other than that, in person, people are always awesome, and we don't see it as a handicap. We see it as a benefit. I can make somebody smile by saying hi. That was a long answer. I'm sorry.
No, and I think that's a terrific attitude. And I mean, I'm near, and I try to keep that attitude myself, and I guess I learned a lesson probably about 2 years ago. Some people just block and move on because they'll just waste your time. That you need to focus on other things that are more important, and why we do this.
We never block anybody. The only time we block somebody if they spam the channel,
okay,
or if they curse, because we try to be family friendly. So when they start cursing and stuff like this, or if they start attacking everybody, then we'll block and ghost them. Other than that, I don't care. You can say whatever. If you think I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
And what people don't realize sometimes, especially for the content, we'll go through like 200 items, and I try to give the best price possible. And I always try to find that one item that you're off on, So,
do you have something that you really like to like? I owe it's in my bio. I love Lunchboxes. I love baseball cards, and I love the old school wrestling action figures. And a lot of that stuff I like it because it pertains to my childhood that I couldn't afford a lunchbox. And when I worked at a diner when I was a teenager, I would go up and buy baseball cards. And, I loved baseball cards, and I would help him out. And then I got a gift at the old wrestling figures from somebody that I worked for. And my mom and dad didn't have their priorities right. So I was just amazed that one day they go, "Oh, we got a gift for you." And that was some of it. So I loved wrestling. And do you have something that you really, or do you just not collect anything?
So it's hard because I have to collect the mentality. I like everything. Most collectibles, we just did an epic Disney pin video, which probably won't come out for another month because we want to get a bunch of them listed on eBay with the video. But and I'm like, wow, I really like these. I should start collecting Disney pin, and Tatiana likes them. But I like Lunchbox. I always like the artwork on Lunchboxes. Never really got into wrestling. I love action figures, comics, any kind of sports cards. But it's hard because when you're in this business, and if you buy as much as we used to buy, and we still buy really high-end collections, so you cannot just keep everything. And like my warehouse is full, my house is full of stuff.
Yeah.
And we just get a lot of stuff. So I try not really to collect too much anymore. I used to have an awesome Star Wars collection at one time, like all the 70s stuff. I'll show you one piece. Let me see if it's right here. I'll show you one quick piece.
Sure.
I'll give you one glimpse. Hold on.
Show and tell. Show and tell.
I still got this one right here. I mean, I used to have hundreds of this.
I'm gonna make you solo here so we can see it better.
There we go. So that's a graded Princess Leia, and you can see it still has a bargain hunter stick on there. At the time, it was 700. I'm pretty sure it doubled because most of these figures doubled. And I just saw it in my showcase. I'm like, why is that for sale? This should be in my collection. So I just put it in my collection. But I mean, I really try not to collect anymore. I collect gold and silver. I like bullion, cool coins. I just decided I might want to start collecting old ancient Roman. But even then, just to narrow it down because there's so much, I want to collect old ancient gold coins. They have to be graded. So, but part of that is just a long-term investment and the gold value too and stuff like this. But it is hard. And the problem is I just like everything.
Right. Hey, Susan Strickler, thank you for stopping, honey. I do appreciate it. Hey, she says, hey, Pat and Renee.
Hey.
Back when I was doing it part-time and when I was in the restaurant business, I used to take some of my profits and buy the silver coins because I was like, wow, they're 100 years old. You're not making them again. And I would buy them too. But what was that other item that you?
Oh, you know what? I will start collecting. Probably I've been thinking, and I'll probably buy some at the coin show tomorrow. Is old paper money, like early American paper money.
What was it? The Confederate.
No, any American paper money. So early Confederate or early United States, $1,000 bills, stuff like 10-cent bills.
One of the things that I actually like to collect too, but it's probably very hard to find, is I like old, like White House memorabilia, stuff that actually came from the White House back.
I got a whole box back here.
Yeah, I have something from there was a yard sale an older lady was having, and this was probably about 25 years ago. And this lady in our town used to get this stuff donated from the community, and she would use the money to help build schools in Africa. And I bought it for something like $3, and there was a little note on it from the 50s, and it was a donation from the White House for some sort of charity thing. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and then before there was Facebook, and before in school, a little frustration in the 3rd grade, I wrote President Ronald Reagan because we shared the same birthday, and I got something back from them. And so I probably over the course of my teens and young 20s, I wrote every president and got something back from the White House. So it became tradition. Yeah, and I just love like the history because honestly, the people there's only one. When you really think about your life, there's only going to maybe be 15 people that are ever going to hold that position, and just so it was kind of neat. So it's like when you run across things and. You do. I've bought in storage units, and sometimes you're like, you got to learn this. Well, I can't keep that. I got to sell that.
It's hard. I got a whole bunch of challenge coins from Air Force One when Obama was president because I knew a guy that worked on Air Force One. So I got like 10 of those. They're like usually $100 on eBay. But then I bought from Ivy from Storage Wars. I bought a whole box of White House stuff. I got playing cards from the White House, matchbooks from the White House. And like during the Jimmy Carter era and like stuff like that. So I got like a whole box of all kinds of White House stuff.
Mr. Sadie has a question. Do you make any money at Dave's auctions a couple weeks ago, Renee, or you just buy stuff for your business?
So no, we made money. So we showed the trunk. If you check our latest videos, the trunk that we bought for $300, that was really good. And then we have another unit that we bought for $1,400, but we just put it in our warehouse. We haven't gone through the boxes yet. Then we have one that Dusty bought. So we made profit. It was a good show. And we created some really, really good content. I mean, I tell people too, because people say, I mean, our content, we have one video we put up on Facebook there that just did $3,000 in ad revenue for one video.
Wow.
It's only been up about a week. So, so now we look at everything different. So we just buy. Sometimes you'll see me like overpay for stuff, but it'll make a really interesting video.
Right.
Like one of our most successful videos on YouTube is with the military boxes, and I paid like $1,000. I even said you can hear it in the video. I'm like, okay, boys, I way overpaid, but they're a bunch of locked military boxes with locks on them, and the ones that were open just had like Playboys in them, and like you're just like, oh, this doesn't look good. But I'm like, it's going to make one hell of a video so you guys can watch me go down in flames. And then actually everything was full of like gear and stuff. So it was a really cool video. And that video is like at 1.2 million views last time I checked.
Oh, wow.
1.2, 1.1. Don't quote me if I'm off, but it's over a million. I don't know for sure.
When I get a little bit more financially secure, I want to, and that's why I go by the title of the traveling picker. My name is Patdees. And because I like the story of stuff. And I like when there's some backstory, but the problem is you basically got to edit it good enough that you kind of hook the person, and then they got to be vested into, oh yeah, I want to see that. Because like I did a video like 3 years ago about baseball cards, and for some reason, that got a lot of views. Now recently I did one on Lunchboxes, and it's like mediocre. So, but sometimes it's weird. I've seen videos. I don't know what's going on, but I just looked before we went live, and one of my Orange County choppers videos is starting to get views. I don't know why, because it's been stale for 2 years. So
it just happens like that with the algorithm sometimes.
Yeah, it can be weird. Hey, KK, thanks for stopping. I do appreciate it.
And like we barely edit our videos, and some people say you should edit it and make it faster. And then I'm like, look, like a lot of the videos we show, and like it's funny because it's like a tough situation for us, especially with the new followers. If I put out a storage unit and I go through it, it's just all crap. They're like, oh, it's garbage. You're wasting our time. This is stupid. But then if we go through the unit, like we show everything as we see it,
Right.
Sometimes it's great, sometimes it isn't, but it's the real thing, right? So, and then if we go through and we find really good stuff, it's fake. You're fake. It's all stakes. So no matter what, I can't win anyway.
Yeah, so, I know that's I what do you film with? I just recently this year started filming with the GoPro, and I was filming with my camera before my cell phone, and I find that honestly I'm doing better with the GoPro because it moves with me, where I felt like I was so rushed and I was moving the camera too fast, where people were complaining about, oh my God, I'm getting motion sickness because I'm moving too fast.
Yeah, no, we film. So number one, we barely ever, the person on camera almost never films. It's very rare that happens. Unless we do like a wide shot or we'll do a shot of the unit. Mm-hmm. We kind of do a Storage Wars style with on air. I don't want to say talent, but that's what it's called, on air talent, because people don't only watch your content, but people also like your personality or they don't like you. Doesn't matter how good your content is. If they don't like you, they don't like you.
Right.
And you can make terrible content. There's people that just love you, and the people that are hardcore. I don't like to say fans, but family. But the people that are the hardcore fans, they watch a lot of the stuff that we do. They really just love us also just as much as they love the content. They like watching me. They like watching Casey. They like watching Tatiana. They like to see what we go through. So, what's our average?
Dan is asking, what's the average CPM on those? He does liquidation pallets, and I don't know if he's done storage units, but he does a lot of liquidation stuff. He's asking what your CPM typically is on those. I mean, they should be around what, $22.
No, you're not going to get $22 if you have a lot of views.
Oh, you're getting more then.
Less.
Less.
The higher you become. So here, I'll tell you a video right now on Facebook. So hold on a second. I'm going to take a high result video.
And you don't have to please don't.
I don't care. Yeah. It doesn't look. If you watch my channel, we're like the most open people. I mentioned on my channel a couple of times that I'm a millionaire, and people got really upset. Some people, and I'm like, if that what really upsets you, then you have issues. Anytime you see somebody driving a Mercedes by or like a fancy house, we don't say it to show off, or it doesn't matter. This country's full of millionaires, okay? And I started off extremely poor. I used to pick in the trash when I was a little kid. We say it to inspire. It means you
Right.
can
That's
do
how
it
I
too.
feel. Exactly.
Yeah. If I can do it, I'm an idiot. I'm not that smart, okay? So if I can do it, you can do it. So hold on, I'm gonna pull this video up right now. Let's see this one. This has 1.8 million minutes viewed. We'll look at a couple different ones on Facebook, and then we can look on YouTube also. So on Facebook, let me see if this shows CPM. Okay. So on Facebook, this video has 1.8 million minutes viewed. It has 275,000 unique 1 minute views or more. And that is 710,000 3-second views, which I don't really see how they get that statistic, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It says it reached 685,000 people. But so that's multiple views. Obviously, people come back. Most of the traffic comes through recommendation, and the ad CPM on that one is $15.66.
Okay.
It had 338,000 ad impressions. Actually, 339,000, just under. And
Now, Dan, keep in mind, this is Facebook.
Is this Facebook? Our earning on that video is $2,900 right now.
Yeah.
So, and that video has only been up 6 days.
Wow.
So let's go to a YouTube one that did well. Let me see.
Yeah, people don't realize the opportunity that does exist in Facebook. I remember talking to a couple YouTubers 2.5 years ago, and they kind of tilted their head and like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, Facebook's throwing a lot of money.
Facebook is crazy.
Yeah,
but Facebook is really funny. We'll put up a video. Now that's a really good video. Okay, most of our my goal in a Facebook video is to make $500, $600, $700. But we don't really care about the money, to be honest. We want to keep on growing our social media.
Right.
But Facebook is really funny. I'll put up a video where I'm like, oh, I think it's going to do really well. And then nothing. It does like $18. And then I'll put up another one. Honestly, my two best Facebook videos, they are both over $3,000. It's the ones with the 1977 lockers. I thought the videos were terrible. I'm like, nobody's going to watch these videos. And they're just kind of like, our attitude wasn't the best because we were overworked. Everything was super heavy. Everything turned into crap. It was just crap. And then I'm like literally halfway editing these videos, I'm like, these are so bad, I'm not even going to put them out.
It was good that you did that.
Yeah, so it was a 2-part video, and those 2 videos did it's over $6,000 in these 2 videos.
Wow.
But here, so let's see. Let me pull up this video. This is just an average video, so we haven't been pushing our YouTube as much. But this video's been out since August 28th. It did 31,000 views. It's an unboxing video, which unboxing doesn't do as good. Like better videos do like when you actually buy the storage units. So it did on YouTube, it did $200. Let me see if it shows me my CPM here. And my playback CPM on that one is $16.51. Excuse me, $16.51.
Okay. Yeah. It's weird. I did one. I did one on eBay. How I got my listings up, and it was a $56 CPM, and then one of the pallet ones was like $21. So it's kind of.
But how many views do you have on the video?
Don't forget, I only got 4,000 subscribers. So
yeah,
a couple of my latest videos have been in the 2,000-3,000 range.
Okay. So as your what a lot of people don't realize, as your social channels grow, like you click through rate, it's just going to go down because you go into a wider audience. If I just advertise my video to Shrika and Mr. Sadie and maybe Mr. Bisalot, I don't know him, but if I advertise to those 3 guys, I'm going to have 100% click through rate and probably a 85% retention rate.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
So but YouTube says, hey, these guys are doing good, and Facebook does the same thing. Let's show it to more people. And now they're going to show, it's like, you know what, let's show it to these 500 people. And 350 of them could care less about us, storages, or how to make money. They want to know what Kim Kardashian is doing right now.
Right.
So your click-through rate is going to go down, right? And then same thing with your CPM rate. Like if you go very, very narrow to somebody that watches the whole thing, your CPM will go through the roof, because they consume all your content. Like we go to new people, like with Facebook, in order to make money in a Facebook video, the person has to watch for 1 minute. If they watch for 1 minute, you make money. But so like we might go to Billy George in Georgia, okay, and he sees it and he watches for 1 minute, and then he's like, yeah, this is not really for me. And then he still earned you some money, but he didn't get you that big CPM because he
Right.
only watched 1 minute of your video.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
Makes
yeah.
sense?
I've noticed it with 2 videos that I've done with pallets that somebody I had half the views on one video, but twice the watch time, and I made more money.
Yeah. So it's all about watch time. What ads that you break in,
Yep.
where they watch, also where they watch from makes a difference. And also you type of content. Like that's so like I seen a channel where she does makeup tips and she has hundreds of thousands of followers, and she showed her a CPM and ad revenue in a 1,000,000 view video, and it was nothing. I make more money on 100,000 views.
Right.
But the reason that is because there's a billion makeup channels out there.
Right.
Every other teenage girl has a makeup channel, right? And they pay so much less for advertising because there's so much out there. Where what's really lucky with our channel hits the finance category, but my channel also hits the entertainment category because we're in TV. So we get pretty cool ad revenue because of that. And then, like I said, Facebook for the longest time it wasn't doing nothing. We just kind of did it to start building the audience. We started pushing a lot of reels, and like I would be happy if our Facebook videos hit $50. It wasn't about the money; it was just about building the family.
Right.
And then Facebook just took off, and it's just like, so right now we're getting good revenue. But I also know another channel that at one time was making $20,000 a month on Facebook, and now they're making $3,000 a month on Facebook. So I think if you create and content just for the money, it's probably not going to work for you. Number
Right.
one, that's too stressful. And it's like all over. Like at one time we were making we probably made the first 2 quarters like 30 or 40,000 on Facebook just on Reels. Then they changed the program. We won't make that much for the rest of the year because they changed how they do everything.
Right.
And algorithms change all the time. So you really got to build your community and do something that you love and share because you really enjoy it, and money will come with it.
I made the mistake, Rene, of thinking that people want to see a little bit more of the, a little bit like, well, I'm not doing eBay today. We're going to go to an amusement park, and people didn't want to see it. I was I would say, all over the place. And I tell you, about 6 months ago, I made the choice. I took 200 videos off, and I stick strictly to reselling. And I've been doing a lot of pallets lately, and I've had the biggest growth in the last month just by niching down.
So the first question you want to ask yourself, and I'm just going to be honest, some people are going to get mad, but I'm just honest, okay? I'll give you honest answers from a business point aspect. So your last video was 58 CPM talking about how to buy pallets, almost 60,000 views. So how much money did that video make you? That's a really good CPM. And I remember, I know guys, like I'm good friends with Face Rug. He has 22 million subscribers. We talk about CPM and stuff like this. $58 CPM is like one of the highest CPMs I've ever heard of on YouTube.
He should have made about roughly $1,500, I think. That's just quick math in my head, because don't forget, he doesn't get the full amount. Dan, if you want to reveal that on the, let me know. But probably about
that's a really high CPM. I've never heard of anybody that high. Like good financial channels usually are like in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah,
he
made 2K.
That's really good. So that video just went viral, and it must have been a really good video.
Yeah.
And the reason the CPM is so high, that he must have done a really good job on the video. Actually, if you could email me the link, I want to check out the video. Oh, what's the video here? I like it right now.
Schreiker can drop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Dan lives over here in Delaware or Maryland, something like that. But he works, I think, a regular job, and he does liquidation stuff.
So how long was the video? How long was the video? That's my first question. And then he must have had a huge retention time. So because it must have been a really good video that people watch all the way through. But here's one of the questions I was going to ask you. Are you doing YouTube channel? Do connect with other resellers and be kind of part of that community? Or are you going to do a YouTube channel to try to make it as big as possible, make it something that's fun for you also, but also make money and stuff like this? Because
personally, for me, a mixture of both.
Okay, so like we do mixture of both too, but I can tell you that the videos, so if I take a video and I'll take any product and I'll show 20 different items, how to compare it, or like I did videos just about eBay showing our sales and why we did this and things like that, they do a lot less than if I do a video. I buy a storage unit or I go yard sale hunting, because half of your audience, maybe 75% of your audience, they have jobs, they have careers. The last thing they want to do is go buy a storage unit or go get up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday trying to find old casino ashtrays or anything like that and resell it. But they still love the treasure hunt. So when you put up a video that says, hey, we spent $800 for this unit and we found, they're going to watch that because it's interesting to them.
Right.
So, like, I don't really target resellers anymore. I still try to educate, and we share a lot about our knowledge as much as I can. And sometimes we do specialized stuff, but that is not necessarily my target audience.
Yeah, for me lately, I'll tell you, and I stumbled on it a little bit by mistake and by luck, because there's a huge warehouse that opened a half an hour away from me, and because I couldn't find enough quantity to resell, I started buying liquidation pallets. So I wanted to be a better reseller and have the volume, and then I started filming about it, and then all of a sudden my views went from, let's say, 300 to 3,000.
Yeah, but see, they're not watching those videos because they want to know how to resell pallets. They could care less. They want to know, you spent 300 on a pallet. What did you get? It's the treasure hunt. Right. And that's a whole different that is not the reselling target audience. That's the people that are just left. That's the same people that watch Gold Rush and American Pickers and Bargainhuntersthrift.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm agreeing with. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah. And ever since we pivoted our channel like that, it just keeps on growing and growing and growing. And like I said, we barely put effort in it. If we were to put effort in our channel and let's go for 6 months and be like, okay, let's just do 3-4 videos a day, get them as good as possible, we would hit 500,000 so fast. And, you know, that might be something that we're looking into right now. When we come back from Uruguay, we're probably going to invest, I don't know, at least 50 grand in our YouTube channel with new employees, or get editors out to start creating a lot of content. And people always ask me, like, why don't you do more eBay? Why don't you resell? Because right now I'm in a content creation stage. I mean, like, I have, like, sitting in one warehouse probably a couple $100,000 worth of comic books that I could have sold for a couple $100,000. That has doubled in the meanwhile with the pandemic. So I'm not worried about that stuff that much. And it'll probably go down with the recession, but it always goes up and down, right? So, but you gotta think, who's your target audience? You know, if I make a video, and like one of my favorite companies and softwares I use is 6-bit, okay? If I make a video on how to use 6-bit and how it makes my eBay listing more efficient and stuff like this, I already know it's going to do terrible. The people that will watch it will watch everything most likely, as long as I make it interesting, but it will not be a benefit for my channel. It will not be a benefit for my broader audience. It will not be a growth benefit. Now, if I make a video, we paid $500 for this trunk, let's open it. Doesn't matter if it's a good result or bad result. That's going to go crazy.
Now, KK has a question. Kathy, do you collab with other people? I know she's mentioning something about collabing with Storage Auction Pirate.
I don't collab with anybody anymore. I used to collab a little bit. This is actually the first interview I've done with another storage buy in a year, because, and I don't even want to get into it, but it started all of a sudden where everybody had drama with everybody, and they were trying to get me into that. And I'm a businessman. I don't have time for all that.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, so I don't collab with anybody. I will come on an interview. Now, I do collab, so same thing with collabs. I'll do a collab if there's a beneficial collab type of thing. I will never, ever, 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 never will I split a deal with anybody, ever. That's the worst thing you can do in business. 99% of the time, it turns out negative. Somebody's upset. And you know, I will collab with somebody, like we did Face Ruck. Like I said, he had 22 million subscribers. We've done 3 or 4 videos with him. I do something if somebody has does something completely different, and we kind of can combine our audience and we can play off each other. But other than that, with other stores, there's just too much drama. And unfortunately, half of the people, there's people that really think creative and they want to build channels and they want to build communities. And unfortunately, there's other channels out there that they get a voice now, and they like the drama that it comes with, and they have drama in their life, and it kind of just takes over, and you never really know who you're dealing with. So unless I see a business benefit from it, I just won't anymore. I did try it, and I'm not saying any channel's bad or anybody's bad. I respect everybody. I'm friends with everybody. I'm friends with Storage Auction Pirate and Crimes and Hales, and Lock Nuts is a very good friend of mine. Lock Nuts is a great guy to talk to. Just collab and throw ideas.
I know.
I know channels all over the place, but I just told them a long time ago, it's like, hey, you do you, I do me. That's the best thing. And then I don't want to get involved.
That's what someone told me. Don't stop. And you know what? The last year, I feel so much better. I actually have it on my banner. Hashtag just do you.
Just do you. You know what? Just because you feel a certain way, and some people like the way you think, some people don't. We all have different ideas for stuff. I had one channel that started talking about me, this whole drama, and I just flat out told them, I'm like, hey, letting you know, I'm not one of those smaller channels. I don't mean to be rude, but I have a big corporation, and we have a lot of money going through our stuff with the different things with a media brand. If you say anything that is untrue, I will hit you with lawsuits. And I'm like, I have no problem. But if you spread the drama and make it, like, I won't make like a what's the word? I won't make a video answering and create the drama. And I know what you want. You want me to interact with you,
right?
Because it will create things. You will just literally get a letter from a lawyer and face a lawsuit.
Cease and desist, right? Hey,
not even cease and desist. I would step that. I would just flat out sue you, and then it's like slander, and then and that costs people money, So
right, exactly. Hey, I got two questions here for you, Rene, because the chat's flying. Dan wants to know: do you currently have employees for editing and social media?
No, so it's basically in the social media right now. It's Casey, myself, and Tatiana. We work on that, but it is a plan. When we come back from Uruguay, we might hire a full-time helper with social media. I'm not sure yet. We're probably going to go with some editors first, and eventually go on with the social media. Like I said, we still like to be in control.
Right. Now, Brian, Mr. Bizela, who's a personal friend of mine out here on the East Coast, and he travels too. I have a question for Rene. Has he looked into Whatnot yet?
I talk to the CEO of Whatnot sometimes, and who knows? We might work on a deal with them. That's all I can say. That.
Yeah. Now, is there anything else that you're not doing business-wise, but you would like to do?
Sleep. I don't know. Part of me wants to do our own complete show on network television, or cable television, but then it takes so much work to put a show together. To be honest, I really don't know if I have time for it.
Yeah.
I guess one of the focuses we really do right now. Oh, business-wise, I want to buy a storage facility. That's our ultimate goal. So I'm waiting for that stuff to come down, which is starting to come down, and then actually own a storage facility.
Yeah.
And we'll probably.
I've heard people say that before that do this because of the cash flow.
It's not just a cash flow; it's just a smart investment,
right?
And everybody that owns them is multi-millionaires. They don't know what to do with the money. It's some of the best real estate you can invest in.
Yeah. So you're not a landlord at all yet, then?
I own property. Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So
commercial property. Yes.
Yeah. Now another thought came. Do you have a favorite YouTube channel? And it doesn't have to be what you do. Is there someone that you just love to watch?
Honestly, I don't really have that much time. When I do work, let's say I work on some eBay listings and stuff, I will play different poker channels in the background and just see how they play hands. Mainly I like to listen to music. So I kind of rediscovered symphonic metal, like bands like Nightwish and Sabaton and even Manowar, stuff like that, old stuff. So I'm listening a lot to that. Love country music. I just like all music, to be honest. So I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah. Brian's being a wise guy. He's saying, please say Patdees.
Patdees. What's that?
My name.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, because the way you kind of roll it, that it sounds like Patdees.
Patdees. Yeah, I don't speak the English so well.
Yeah, that's why. So he's busted my chops. So Schreiker asked earlier, and I thought the question was too, what does your dad do? Was that, I thought I saw that question.
So he's just a pickup basically, and he just buys and sells in Las Vegas and does eBay every day.
Oh, okay. So your dad is in the picture of doing this stuff too.
Yeah, every pawn shop owner or pawn shop manager in Las Vegas knows my dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some hate him, some love him.
KK has a question. Rene, does he source out people in different areas like other states? Does he outsource?
No, I have so much inventory right now. All I do is I buy major collection if they come up. If somebody contacts me and it's a really good collection and the price is right, I'll buy that. But right now my focus is we filmed storage was straight for a year and a half. We had to transition off the business. And like I said, I got like at least a couple $1 million worth of eBay stuff. People who watch our videos, they see it all the time. So the stuff that we have, like I have enough to list, but we're really focusing on building our social media brand. Remember, like, and I'm not just like a regular YouTuber, because YouTube is small. I mean, I'm on a television show, and I hate saying that, like it always comes across the wrong way, but I'm on a television show. Storage Wars is literally every country in the world.
Right.
You know, it's like we're the #1 show for the A&E network in every Latin American country. India is insane. The people that we have in India, that's like one of my second highest channels in the world is viewers from India. We get messages from them every day. So not only do we build our brand on social media and YouTube, we're not really building a YouTube channel, but we're building a whole social media brand, right? Between Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and then also our Storage Wars personalities. That's all one package. And we have sponsorship. Like this is a 3-year sponsorship right here, America's Card Room. And it does very well for us, and it's a great company to work with. They have a great CEO, Phil, over there, and I don't see myself leaving them anytime soon. You know, we just had a huge eBay sponsorship video out there. We're doing something at a coin show tomorrow. That's different companies that we talk to, so it's like a bigger picture. It's not just a YouTube channel.
Right. Sergeant Spork has a question. I'm getting a lot of questions from viewers. I think
Let's do it.
Yeah, so a small channel, what is the best advice you can give to grow my channel?
Okay, the biggest mistake I see people make is they start putting out a bunch of content without really learning what is required, you know? So learn about keywords, learn about your keywords, learn about your tag words, learn about how you, like, I would subscribe to something like TubeBuddy or what's the other one? vidIQ.
vidIQ, yep.
Yeah, so let me make sure this is the right one I'm talking about. Yeah, vidIQ is good too. Learn about how to tag your channel, your descriptions. Make sure your SEO so that you have words in the title, that you have those same words right away in the beginning in your descriptions, and then you also have those words in your tags. Learn how to make good thumbnails or pay somebody for good thumbnails. If I were to start a channel, because I think Facebook is getting stronger and stronger, I would upload my content on Facebook and on YouTube. We used to think, oh man, so Chris is asking a misinformed question, but that's okay. We'll answer it then. So we get a lot of these questions where there's like the facts are just wrong, but we'll get back to that.
Okay.
So, and on Facebook, the biggest mistake I used to think is like, okay, well, look, we're in Storage Wars. If they follow us on YouTube, they follow us on Facebook. Not true. Complete different audiences. There's certain people that go to both pages, but I would say that probably 75% of people, if they watch us on Facebook, they don't watch us on YouTube, and vice versa. It's just a different type of audience. Same thing with Instagram too. So I would go as many social channels as you can. I will build my Instagram. That's huge right now. Twitter, small, but I still would build Twitter also. I would be consistent. If you can manage to do 2 videos a week, then do 2 videos a week, but be consistent. If you can manage to do 3 or 4, do 3 or 4. Be true to yourself. Do something that you enjoy and like. And then also understand, the more successful you become, the more haters you will get, especially on social media. And you need to be okay with that in advance. People are just going to say dumb stuff. Most people have an opinion about something with zero knowledge. So, those are a few things. But do what you enjoy and just be true to yourself, I think.
So the other question, Chris the Goose from Texas said, where does Rene see Storage Wars show 1 year with the cancellation of all the spinoffs? So I'm not sure what that's about, but.
Okay, well, he's asking if Storage Wars will survive because the spinoffs canceled. So, number one, the spinoffs was just a way in negotiations to get more shows in a time frame, okay? Miami never worked. Also, Miami had a huge scandal at the end. Somebody killed somebody. The son of one of the people on there killed somebody at a party. You can Google that, so we'll leave it at that. That really killed the show there, and there was other issues. New York just didn't get as many viewers, but New York was canceled probably, I'm guessing, 6 years ago. So we've been on 6 years since New York has canceled. Texas was probably the longest running one. It had 3 seasons. People liked it. I like Texas. I like New York. I wasn't crazy about Miami. They had some issues too with an altercation at the end that had issues that kind of made them not want to do it. And then it was a show that worked in the beginning, but then as it became bigger, it just didn't make sense to do. And LA is look, we just finished. I don't even know if we finished season 14 or 15, because in my contract, the seasons is different than the way you guys see it. So
Right.
I think the one upcoming is going to be season 14. Okay. And they told me that Storage Wars is over since we started in 2000. When did we start? 2013. They told me this is the last 6 episodes. And I still remember talking to Casey. I'm like, you know what? Okay, maybe we missed it. I was wrong about it being successful, but let's just do these 6 episodes. What will it take us? Like 10 weeks? It'll kind of be fun. And I was joking with her. It's like, one day we'll be 80 years old with no teeth, sitting on a porch, sipping iced tea. And the kids will tell us, oh, in the 2010s, reality TV was the big craze, right? Like 80s music or something like that. And we can say we had a very small minor part in that. We did 6 episodes on the last season of Storage Wars. So that was season 4. And when we signed from episode... Actually, I think we signed till episode 88. So I think we signed till episode 88, and that was going to be it for Storage Wars. And I don't know the exact number, but the last episode I just filmed was episode 345 or something like that. So, will Storage Wars go on or will Storage Wars quit? I don't know. Honestly, it's been a really long time. I never thought I would film for 10 years on a single TV show. Like, I really feel like, it's been an amazing ride and everything, but I feel like our life has been put on hold a little bit because it's just so different than what we've planned. And it also took us in a different direction with social media and YouTube and Facebook and everything else that we do. But will Storage Wars never do another episode after 345, or will we do another 200? Only God knows.
Right.
We'll take it one day at a time.
Dan has a question in relation to the older episodes. Do you get royalties from Storage Wars from older episodes, or is that a one-time payout?
We get paid per episode.
Yeah. Now, is your daughter getting involved in the show, or?
Yeah, she's been on several episodes. She gets paid when she comes on.
Oh, okay, so that's good. Is that what she wants to do, like what you guys are doing for the future?
So she's really into reselling and buying, and she's very artsy and craftsy. She's thinking about starting a YouTube channel, do some stuff on our channel, where she goes to thrift stores and looks for costumes or like different outfits and stuff like this. So she knows how to list. She knows how to use 6-bit. She knows how to use eBay. She helps with the shipping. So she knows the entire business. She loves going to yard sales and picking. And like, she gets excited when she buys something for $1. And she's like, hey, Dad, I can sell this for 40. She really likes that.
Yeah, I see her on camera. She's not like, sometimes like I'll get my kid to film sometimes, but to get, they're just not interested. So she seems like she has a definite interest in what you guys are doing.
Yeah, she's a really good kid. We're lucky. She has an interest. She wants to learn. And so we don't really put any pressure on her. We're like, hey, look, why don't you go to college if you want to? She's a straight A student. Last year in her sophomore year, her GPA was like a 4.1, which I didn't even know was possible. But she did extra work and stuff. She got higher than a 4.0 GPA. I tell her, if you want to go to school and become a lawyer, a doctor, or a scientist, or whatever you want to do, go ahead and do that. But because this business, and buying and selling is one of the oldest businesses in the world, merchants, it's probably that and prostitution. That's what Dan always jokes around,
Right.
So she always has something to fall back on or do if she's not happy in life. If she ever gets a job and she's a crappy boss and she just doesn't enjoy her life, she knows how to buy and sell. So we just try to give her as many options as possible. And no matter what she chooses, we'll support her and we'll love her, and we'll just go with that,
Midwest Picker question. Dave Hester seems like a very normal guy on Renee's YouTube channel. Why does the TV show Storage Wars make him into a heel character?
All right. So you got to remember, you seeing Dave Hester on my channel now, that's to Dave Hester. And then when you watch Storage Wars, you see the Dave Hester from like 13 years ago, right? So he has changed over time. Dave was actually always an alright guy if you know him as a person in the social life. To do business against Dave was a pain in the butt sometimes because he took things too serious and he doesn't know where to stop or where to draw the line, right? So he's hard to deal with sometimes. He doesn't know how to do the right social things or how to act right. But overall, like, off business or as friends, Dave always was a nice guy. I never had a problem with him. Actually, when I was young in the business and we opened up our store, he gave me a whole bunch of tips for the store, gave me a bunch of legal documents, that he's like, hey, this will help you with the store. These are contracts you can sign with your customers. And then also remember, it's a TV show. So Dave was the guy. Brandy and Jared didn't have a penny when they started Storage Wars. So they were the not bottom feeders, but like they were the ones you can root for, the underdog.
Right.
And Dave was like, every show, I don't care what reality show you have to watch, it always has to have an evil guy. And if you broke, you can't be the evil guy. Because if I talk trash all day long and I stop bidding at $10, how evil does that make me? That just
I always remember him as yeah.
So, and the show played that up a little bit, and then I think he kind of went with it a little bit more, and it got to his head a little bit,
right?
And he embraced that role. But also since then, he had a major heart attack. He almost died.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, and I think it also changed his outlook on life a little bit. And he just doesn't care as much. And then another thing, when he started with Storage Wars and he was kind of the man that was everybody fighting and trying to beat and stuff like this, he got a lot of hate. Like I've seen people, like we'll get hate online, people say stuff, but those are mainly keyboard warriors. And they just looking for negative attention, okay? And especially when we hit the nuke route. But in person, I've only one time a person was negative in 10 years. And I told you the story earlier. Dave, literally, we go to dinner and people will stop the car in the middle of the street, get out and be like, F you, Dave. So we have to have extra security and stuff like this. When he goes to like a Ducks game, because he's a huge Anaheim Ducks fan, he used to have to bring security with him and stuff like this. So I think that kind of sometimes messes with a person a little bit when people are just rude. And honestly, most of those people that act that way or say stuff, they really have very little education, very little knowledge of the situation, and very little knowledge about the business in general. Like, we even get people saying, oh, you buy somebody else's bad luck. I'm like, look, that's how life works, okay? If you don't pay your storage, could you imagine if everybody doesn't pay their storage? That facility will go out of business because they can't pay the bank loans, they can't pay the employees, they can't pay the taxes. If you don't pay your car, somebody's going to repossess it, right? If you don't pay your lawyer, he's not going to do the work. If you don't pay your doctor, they're not going to take you next time. If you don't pay gas, they're not going to give. That's just how life works, okay? You got to pay your bills. If not, somebody else has to cover it. Then that's what we do.
Well, it's the same people that criticize like resellers. And it's like Walmart is doing the same thing. Target's doing the same thing. They're all resellers.
Those people are not smart enough. They're not smart enough to understand the concept of capitalism and business. Right. That's just what it is.
Now, Kimmy asked, and again, which we already answered earlier. Does Rene doesn't have a store? He closed that down because of a different. They had a different business coming there, right?
They were building apartments. They paid us $375. So like sometimes they hate us. Like they'll leave comments. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's good to see you went out of business." I'm like, "You mean when they wrote me a check for $375,000?" I'm like, "Yeah, I hope I go out of business every day." And that was actually great timing for us because we just started Storage Wars again. You're welcome, Chris. So it was actually great timing for us because we started Storage Wars again. And the one drawback, and the one thing you asked me earlier about business regrets or something I want to do, we never really had a chance to get the store the way we wanted to get it because when we opened the store within a year, we started Storage Wars. And so we never had the chance to really get caught up good enough where we wanted to be. So that kind of regret, I would think, and I tell Casey, I'm like, man, Bargain Hunters was a pretty kick-ass store and it was making a lot of money. But could you just imagine if that would have been our number one priority 6 days a week, 7 days a week? We would have killed it, So, but we never had the opportunity to see where it went. But like I tell people all the time, God works in funny ways. And, that's why you just have to let him take control because you think, that's it. I'm going up that mountain. I'm going to conquer that mountain. I'm going to be standing up there yelling like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's going to trip you butts, put you down the mud. You think it's the worst thing in the world, but you're going to bang your head on the biggest rock of gold. And, God blessings come in funny ways. So
I agree. I never, who would have thought I was in the restaurant business? Who would have thought basically 3 years later, I'm interviewing one of the biggest. I know I'm humble. I'm just a regular. Yeah, we know you're a regular guy, but you're doing some amazing things and you're in the spotlight of the world and people, you're a celebrity. And,
thank you.
And to give me the time, and I take this very serious a lot of times. And like, I always want to have you come on and be respectful to the people and the guest. And, because to me, reputation matters into doing this. Everything I've always done on here, I've always cared about that. Down the road, I can look back and this is a resume. People can say, hey, Patdees was a good guy. So it's important to me. Life is short.
Life is
and
short.
Locker Nuts finally showed up. Jack.
So, I'm going to give you two questions. I want to do two follow-ups real quick. Number one, you asked me what the number one channel is if I had to watch one. It's Jack and Locker Nuts because, he's a really good guy. I got to meet his family. He's probably one of the nicest and most humble guys I've ever met. And he's also the example of working hard and doing it the right way, and that hard work brings success. And he's extremely successful right now. And he deserves every ounce or every inch of that success. So that's the channel I would watch if I had to watch one channel for the rest of my life, without hours, of course. And he's a super cool guy. And then also the Life About Short thing. So when we first, look, I'm just going to be honest. When me, Brandy, Jared, we never really gelled, okay? It's like, we had moments behind the scenes where he tried to punk me and that just didn't work because, like, it's all in God's hand. If he wants me to die tomorrow or something happens, oh well, it won't be by you intimidating me. I will never back down. If I get my butt kicked, I get my butt kicked. Wouldn't be the first time, okay? But so when we first started the show, so I'm just saying, as everybody knows, there's not much love lost there, right? So if you watch the show, but when we first watched the show, we were filming, and obviously, we always film a season in advance. And we used to go afterwards to lunch, and nobody knew who we were. We just happened to be with the Storage Wars people. We could have been PAs. Nobody knows. And one time we were at a restaurant, and people came up and asked them for pictures, And now keep in mind, they weren't very successful before. They were like really on the bottom totem pole, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's important to stay humble and also realize God's gifts, right? So, and people came up, they're like, oh, no, we're not doing, yes, you should sub, Sadie. They were like, oh no, we're not doing pictures today. And I told Casey right then and there, if you ever see me say that or act that way, I want you to slap the crap out of me. It's just like full on like knockout slap, okay? And so we've never turned down a picture, and like we are just regular people. We feel blessed. We got lucky.
Right.
We have a huge support system. We have an amazing fans, and it just keeps them going. So we're regular people, and life is short. You got to be humble. Like I tell people, money, television, success, all that stuff is temporary. Family, feelings, loyalty, honor, that's forever. And unfortunately, we had a really bad situation here in California yesterday. I'm not going to mention the name just out of respect to the family, but there's a big time storage buyer. None of you guys will know him unless you're in California. He went to auctions yesterday at 8:30 in the morning, and he got killed on the 605 freeway, hit by an armored truck. So, and he was I think he was probably in his early 50s, but he was super good shape. He was probably going to outlive me. And life is short, so remember. And like I'm also German, so everything about me is like if I had to do two keywords, it's honor and loyalty. Everything else is temporary. For some reason God wanted me to be on TV. He blessed me. We're really lucky now, but I also realized that I could be broke in 2 years from now. That's just how life goes, with the funniest thing. Or maybe, who knows, maybe the dollar goes away. We just don't know. So it's always important for us. We're just regular people. Like I said, we're well known. That's it.
Brian has a funny question here for you. Do you see the screen?
Would you consider a reseller poker game we could play for cool stuff? Raise you my Jordan's PSA rookie for your Hulk 181. Well, I don't think it would work that way, but what we could do, we could have signed a bunch of prices like that, and be like, and then we play for the chips. And if you have enough chips, you can trade in for those items.
You can buy, yeah, exactly.
So let's say you start with so many chips. Something. Shit. Oops, I just cursed. I always play poker.
Yeah.
I try not to curse. I curse sometimes.
No, you're fine. Dan, what kind of revenue did the store do before it closed? I guess he's trying to gauge, like, some people who want to open a store, was it worth it?
It's the best decision you ever make. Doing a store is the best. I remember when I first did my store, man, I was so scared. We still had a little kid. We were doing good already in the swappings and stuff, but nothing like we do now. But I told Casey, I'm like, all right, we're gonna do the store. We started off small. Our rent was like, I think it was like $5,500 a month. And I told her, I'm like, okay, look, I just go to the swap meet every Saturday, Sunday, keep on buying and selling, and I should be able to pay enough of the rent. Or even if you can only make $50 a day in the store, we should be able to pay all our bills and break even. The first day we opened, we did $4,800. And then I think the store average that first year when we were doing full time, it averaged never less than $1,000 a day, ever, never less. But it's not like $1,000 a day selling rare rookie cards. It's $1,000 a day selling dresses, couches, and a lot of money in clothing, which is high profit margins.
High margins, right?
Yeah. So when people tell me in the show, "Oh, you stupid! You said 5 boxes of woman top $300. You just don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. I sell them on my yard sale for a quarter." Store setting, never nothing less than $1.99. And you're right. I only said $300 because I know you're gonna get triggered and you're gonna call it fake. In reality, I'm probably gonna get $600 or $700 as long as it's good modern clothing, right? And even at the end of the day, so remember at the end of filming and stuff, and I knew the store was closing the last 2 years. Like my lawyers were negotiating with the buyout for probably a year and a half with a whole team. I mean, it took a long time. So really the last year and a half to 2 years, I really lost interest in the store, where sometimes I wouldn't go to the store for like 2 months. Just my employees ran it. It's full of stuff. And we're still averaging $700-800 a day, and that shopping center went down because the whole company's like, they just, half of the shopping center was empty, abandoned.
Right. There was no draw. No draw.
Yeah, no draw. We were going through the pandemic. Everybody was like, okay, we're in a graveyard. I just knew we had a big financial situation. And then, obviously the big Saturdays and Sundays, we do anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000-6,000 a day,
right.
Depending when we do record releases. I mean, we had $20,000 days in the store. If I were to really say, hey, the store is the most important thing, and I'm really pushing it, I'm bringing new merchandise in every day, and we have our different sales, I think that store should have done probably like 2,000 to 2,500 a day. I have another friend of mine that has a big store in a lower income area, and the store was a little bit bigger than mine. And I know for him, a slow day, 1,300, a good day, 3,000. But he brings a truckload in every day. Every day stuff is coming in.
Fresh inventory, right?
Fresh inventory every day. Ja, jawohl, ich kann Deutsch sprechen.
That's where you were born?
Ich bin geboren in Deutschland. Ich bin eigentlich geboren in Österreich, in der Steiermark. Und dann bin ich nach Deutschland gegangen. Und dann, wenn ich 11 oder 12 Jahre war, sind wir nach Amerika gegangen. Oh, wait, you probably want me to do this in English, right?
It's so funny to hear you talk about locker nuts that way, because I call Jack up personally once in a while, and the same thing you've said, I've said to him personally, and he's such a good guy. But another thing that we have in common, we have this same employee, and I want to bring him in. I asked him to stop in and say hello.
Employee?
Employee?
Employee. Well, Shrike's just a friend. Look at all those boxes of cards back there. I like it. I don't know what I like more, the Eastern Press books on the left or the cards.
Well, these are postcards, though. They're not sports cards. So
actually, I love postcards. So that was one thing I wanted to collect a long time ago. To me, there's nothing better than turn of the century postcards.
Yeah,
Civil War area stuff.
The older, the better.
Always a story behind it, right?
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me send a text real quick.
Hey, Mel, welcome from Australia. Thank you for stopping.
No, Brian, you haven't sent me that many yet. I did get yours today, though.
Are you? Do you have any good questions that you don't think I asked for Rene? That any pressing that we were leaving out?
Oh boy, let's see.
Because you're used to working the mod position. Now you're kind of playing, Paul Schaefer today. You get to ask our guests.
Well, as a mod, you have to be the one that asks the questions, because you want the streamer to answer those questions to the audience.
That's right.
So it's almost like being, an interviewer as a moderator. I know Rene so well, I don't know which questions to ask first.
Go ahead, ask.
That's why I want everyone else to ask. But back to Rene.
No, Shrike is obviously good people. He helps a lot, and he just does a really good job modding, like way too good.
How did you guys, Shrike? How did you find Rene?
I don't know. It's probably been 4 or 5 years, probably fairly close to the start of his channel, just from watching the show. And then for some reason, I stumbled across him on YouTube when I was doing something else. So,
yeah. So I think he just started following the channel, and then a lot of people back then wanted to mod just so they can say they mod
right
on our channel. And I got rid of most of them, but Shrike always did such a good job, and he was like, I never really had any problems with Shrike. I mean, that sounded wrong. Casey's like, well, you weren't positive on this. I never had any problems with Shrike, and on top of it, he did such a good job. But like, people ask me like, how much you pay that guy? I'm like, no, he's just really part of the family, and he loves doing it, I think. So pretty much, he's like, he's
well,
like,
those
if you have
12-hour streams get pretty darn long.
yeah, sometimes they do. Like because we do those stupid poker streams where and I keep on lasting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. We want to go three days for 12 hours, but that adds up to a lot of time.
Yeah, we did like back-to-back 12-hour streams one time. That was like, I was so beat. Yeah, but no, I mean, he's really good. He's just a good person, Like I'm like, you just know when people are good people and you like them in your life, and Shrike is one of those people.
I can't sit still for more than 2 hours. It was when I don't like, some people will throw like wrenches out like they're candy, like, and I don't. If you notice, I haven't had any trolls. I have my behind the scenes set up, and I've showed other channels how to do it. And about a year and a half ago, someone said, "Oh, give Shrike a wrench," and I'm like, "Who's Shrike?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, okay, yeah." And then I see him in other chats. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll give him one." And then realize how hard the guy worked, because sometimes you'll get mods and they'll come and then you don't see him for 4 or 5 months. So he was always there, and if he liked your channel, he's always willing to help push it out. Which I mean, part of wanting to grow on social media is having people that have your back, that want to, help you grow as a channel and as a person.
Moderators are definitely important. You have a wrench, Mr. Sadie? That's a mistake. Hey, Shrike, let's fix that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you gave him one a couple of streams ago.
Yeah. I did? I must have been drinking. Yeah. Oh, wait, I don't drink. No, Sadie's a good guy, too. He's been on the channel since forever.
Mr. Buys a Lot has a question. Okay, so I've watched so many of Rene's videos that I contacted him to ask about buying a huge archive of press photos and news photos. Does Rene remember that far back?
You talk about one of our very first videos when we had like those 30,000 photos. They were like all in those Kodak boxes.
I think he has them, and I think that.
Well, actually, Rene had a huge find of them, bigger than Brian's was.
That was like our first or second video out, I think.
That was
so then we filmed on the GoPro, yeah. Do you say you have one, or were you asking about that one? I guess let's clarify.
Well, he has one, but you have one as well, and I think yours was a lot bigger in actuality.
Yeah, so I sold mine pretty fast because it was all celebrities, and he has one. I mean, I'll buy it if it makes sense and if it's really good content. If it has never been listed for sale and it's fresh, but if it's like, oh, I got it all listed on eBay, a lot of times dealers try to sell me the stuff they couldn't sell, and then I don't have an interest.
Yeah. Well, can I didn't really find out, what did you do before, storage, or like, is there a job? You know how like you'll say, well, like Madonna worked at Subway when she was a teenager. Well, tell our audience, like, what is there something that we don't know? Like, did you work in fast food when you were a teenager?
It's funny, Pat. Funny. Yes, I worked in fast food. They got rid of me for theft. Unbelievable. The harassments I put up with.
That wasn't picking on you. I want to know what you did before you bought. You didn't just come out of high school and go, I'm going to buy some storage units.
So I've been buying and selling pretty much since 12 years old. My first job when I was 15, it's probably one of my only jobs. I worked at an auction house, so I could see all in the boxes a little bit more detail. And I would work the whole week and know how the deals come in, where they come in from, were they other resellers dumping stuff, or was it somebody that passed away? I would know which boxes to buy, like these come from this estate. I know they're totally uncherished, and this is just Shrike's leftovers, which I know he still got the good stuff. So that was one of my first jobs. And then later on, I got really big in the computer industry, and I had like a computer store. We were fixing computers.
Okay.
We were publishing a computer magazine every week. But at the same time, I was always selling the whole time. And I was like 21 or so, and I was doing it with my family. Or maybe I was 19 or 20, something like that early on. And I just wasn't happy. And I got in an argument with my dad. He was like, no, you don't own the magazine. You're just an employee. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm supposed to own half of this magazine. I've been doing it since 16. And we just had a disagreement on that. And then I moved out and was out on my own. I got like a lot of rules. And I'm like, you know what? And I love my dad. Everything is great, But I was like, I'm just not gonna do that anymore, and I left. And I'm like, if I'm only an employee, then I see no point in being here, because I have much more fun just going on eBay, listing and selling, and doing yard sales. And I don't want to call people and sell them advertising or write a stupid article about how this memory is faster than the one before, because it just wasn't fun. And then I went full time on eBay, and that's pretty much all I did. At one time, I used to have a retail store in Las Vegas inside the Tropicana Casino, where we sold nothing but casino collectibles and Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack. So it was pretty much always in buying and selling.
Well, since I don't know if I'll ever have you on the show again because of your scheduling, and I would invite you.
Not with those fast food jokes.
Where did you meet your beautiful wife?
Starbucks. She saw me one time and just started stalking me. It was horrible, actually, but it worked out well.
She worked at Starbucks?
No, she just saw me at Starbucks.
And that was it?
That was it. She's like, that's the one I'm going to have. And then, she just kept on stalking me.
And there you
there you go. There's a good question. Talk about stocks and crypto.
I
have a stock channel.
Yeah. Who has a channel?
I have a stock channel called Money Me that I do videos from time to time talking about the market, and I've traded for over 20 years.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So I got into crypto probably. I bought my first Bitcoin when it was at about $100 a coin, and then I bought Ethereum at $7 a coin. At one time, we had mining rigs all over the house. I did it just to find out how it works.
Really?
Oh yeah, I still have one in my warehouse, which is like a 7-card graphic cards mining rig. I don't run it right now, but I used to run it.
My buddy Mike from Jersey is asking, "Hey Rene, how's the legend Gunter?"
He's doing good, just being himself in Las Vegas, buying and selling.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I appreciate it's about an hour and a half. Wow, Pat's a stock guy. Yeah, I've traded over $20 million worth of stock in the last 25 years. Buying and selling and doing different things. Yeah, I love the stock market. I think when you're involved in, if you like playing poker, because there's even, analogy I use with that. And if you're in business, you love, I invest my son's money and manage 401ks. But yeah, I love the market.
Market is great. Most of my stuff, I believe in long-term hold, long-term investments. Stocks like dividend-paying stocks like public storage, things like that, long-term stuff. Like, I don't have enough time to check the prices all the time and trying to time the market. So, like, I'll just buy something and I'll put it away. And then if I want to invest something else, I use fresh money that I earn.
Right. Do you want to tell anybody what's going on as far as your YouTube channel or anything coming up you want to share, Rene?
Yeah, Bargainhunterthrift. Whatever you do not watch it. It's stupid.
I have a link below. And Schreiker.
I've dropped it a few hundred times, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
So, Schreiker, let Rene know my poker offer. So, Brian wants to play cards. So, I do appreciate Rene taking the time. It took, I wasn't sure. I jokingly, it was funny because about 3 weeks ago, I said, well, maybe 2023. And you gave me 2 hours notice today, but we made it. I actually took a 45-minute nap. I said, I'm going to get a nap so I can have a fresh, clear head. So, I do appreciate you coming on. Hang out for a second after. But we're going to end it right here. And thanks to everyone that did come by and hang with me and Rene. And I invited Schreiker to come on the last couple minutes just to say hello and kind of put a face to the screen so everybody knows who he is. So I do appreciate it. That is
background in the back. I just love those books.
It's a blue screen.
I know. I was about to say, if that's a green screen, that'd be funny as hell. That's right. Every time he comes on, he just edits us a little bit. It's like, okay, we're going to add some postcard boxes.
All right, Brian, that's enough. He's
never ever buy blinds ever.
Renee,
it's a rookie mistake. What do you want to say? I don't even know what you did, but I can see how this conversation is going.
$41,000 worth of blinds.
Yeah, like blinds have to be customized. That's like selling heart valves. It's like it's just not gonna sell. Just take it to the dump and write it off as a loss.
Oh God! All right, guys, hang tight.
That's right. You're damn right. I did that. 8 down, 8 profiles. You hear him? You hear him? He's trying to talk smack on me and Cletus. What is he talking about? That was the highlight of the show. He got a little haywire. I'm not gonna let somebody take me out like that. Not gonna happen. I'm never going away, Patdees. Matter of fact, this show is going to go into watching Patdees. We're going to watch Patdees videos. We're going to make fun of them the whole damn time.